Previously on Aka. Akasan's Honest Reactions, Akasan. What's up, everybody? Hope you're having a good day here. Just checking my Twitter here, and Gabriel, Gabe Changer, not Gay Changer, Gabe Changer. On my Twitter, he says, he. You might want to. Why do you say he, dude? Like to another dude. He. You might want to react to this. Imagine if you tried to say half the things he points out. This is everything wrong with Batman v Superman, Trailer 2. Oh, I can only imagine what it must feel like to be hated upon for having a different, separate fucking opinion. What's up, Brian, right? And Jeremy Johns, suddenly feeling the force of, the DC fanboys, extreme DC fanboys crying out in agony. Regardless, let's see what CinemaSins has to say and see how many dislikes they get. How many death threats they get. Let's see. I'm very curious what to see. Goddamn. I'm ready for this.
A Tony Stark-style party that Peter Parker would be assigned to photograph, with Bruce Wayne showing up in a James Bond car in a DC movie about Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. And instead of turned on, I'm just kind of boner confused right now. It's like walking into the cat house and seeing too many hot hookers. How do you decide what to even get excited about? Who's that? I know the very trailer I'm sending will make fun of him for this, but still, Clark Kent is considered a good reporter, and so I have to ask this.
Yeah,
this
I was wondering about that.
Trying to be kind of like reality movie is still going with the no one can recognize Superman once he puts on glasses bullshit, which honestly is maybe the stupidest thing about Superman ever anyway. DC Comics. Big news in Gotham includes Batman being too brutal, and no less than 2 environmental stories and a labor struggle. The city is liberal as hell, and I'm okay with that. I am not okay with that. Also, pretty sure this lower left side panel story is about a UFO, and that could maybe have impacted the story a little more, and I wouldn't mind. Superman saves a rocket thing, but are there people in it? Do we know? Do we care? Are we just going for a hero shot?
Yeah.
I mean, shit, I'm genuinely worried they shot this movie around some cool trailer visuals. Also, careful, Mr. Snyder. You almost got some color in that shot. I expect better of you. How did these assholes draw a perfect Superman logo on their roof during the flood? Yes, I see their paint, but even if they had art school training, wouldn't the flood danger cause jitters enough to make this logo all zigzaggy? Also, look at these slackers in the back, thinking they'll get rescued without offering up any sacred artwork to the alien god Superman. Why is Superman hovering over these desperate people for such a long time instead of Quicksilver flying into action to save them all?
Bruce Wayne meets Clark Kent.
Introducing Lex Luthor, which is basically a Jim Carrey Riddler from Batman Forever impression. So, yay?
I've heard that one.
Lex, it is a pleasure. Ow! Wow, that is a good grip. You should not pick a fight with this person.
Also, regarding Eisenberg's performance, I can only assume he was directed by no one. That's what to sell me on this movie. Finch? What a terrible, stupid, cliche bad guy name. Also, all superhero franchises think we want to see superheroes in court, previously on Man of Steel. And yeah, movie thinks this will be fun for us because it's a new perspective. But as in so many instances, movie is wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, a metal suit is not helping Batman defeat Superman. The only way this suit is some kind of difference maker is if he's gotten a hold of some kryptonite, likely via Lex Luthor. And already
It doesn't look too bad, though.
He could have written this script. It's suicide. But you must not have heard about kryptonite, which I undoubtedly get from my new maniac friend Lex Luthor. More grayscale fiery destruction. It's almost like they completely ignore the general feedback to Man of Steel, right?
Son of Krypton versus Batman of Gotham.
It's like this script was literally written by a guy named Nostalgia who was high on cocaine.
Yes.
Hey, Amy Adams is still in these things. Who knew? Still feel like the Matrix Revolutions covered most of this ground years before DC got off their asses to do it.
I wanted it. You be dead already.
I believe this is true, but just having Superman say it does not excuse the fact that you made an entire 2.5-hour movie about nothing. Well, am I supposed to be alarmed at this obvious missile being transported, or the shockingly tight outfit this chick is allowed to wear in a military-grade compound? That is definitely Zod, which means, yep, this movie is all the stupid.
Damn.
Doomsday? Really? This is Spider-Man 3 all over again.
Ooh, gut punches.
Ah, I see some vibranium bled over into the DC universe.
She with you?
I thought she was with you.
I thought this movie had a screenwriter. My favorite thing about this shot, and by favorite I mean least favorite, is that Batman is holding a goddamn gun of some sort. Hey, filmmakers, do you even Batman? Man,
That doesn't
love
make
Batman.
sense.
I fucking love Batman.
Yeah.
No one is more pumped for a potential Affleck-directed Batman film in the future than I am. But everything about this trailer feels wrong. Hate all you want, but I'm calling it right now. Batman v Superman is 2016's Terminator Genesis. Also, I find your lack of Spider-Man disturbing. Wait, also, thanks for showing me what I can only assume is 95% of the movie.
Ooh.
Well, 3D is some bullshit in general, so I can only guess that Real D 3D and IMAX 3D are even bullshittier. Also, hashtags.
We'll do it live!
God damn. But, you know, like, only 2 or 3 of those were pretty valid. Like, the rest were just like, whatever. Whatever.
You know what? I have a ball. Perhaps you'd like to bounce.
You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?
Wherever there is injustice, you will find us.
I think if your clients want to sit on my shoulders and call themselves tall, they have a right to give it a try, but there's no requirement that I enjoy sitting here listening to people lie.
Interesting. It's all that shit. That nitpicking, and those complaints are just as most of them are just as hold as much weight as the complaints that I get from DC fanboys. So that's extreme. Sorry, not all DC fanboys. Extreme DC fanboys with the death threats and all that other shit, asking me to drink bleach and die. So regardless of all of that, I'm not even gonna address it. The one thing I will address is a thing like the Batman with the gun thing. Like, no, Batman he doesn't use, how can I explain it? He doesn't use human guns, I guess, and he doesn't use them against humans, but he does use like cannons and other type of plasma guns and all this other shit, and he knows how to use a gun. He just, in terms of going up against metas or however you want to talk about it, very well occasionally. Fucking his Batmobile is equipped with some of the most awesome guns. Batplane on top of that. So yeah, the whole gun theory thing is like, okay, don't worry about it. But he just doesn't use like the typical standard gun. Like, didn't he pull a gun on someone in Identity Crisis? No. Infinite Crisis on Two Worlds. Someone help me out here that remembers. Didn't he pull a gun on somebody to stop something? And I remember it was a Spider-Man. Batman story as of late recently that he had to he pulled a gun on someone. And I'm not talking Batman Beyond. I know that one, but it was a whole nother one in the comics recently. He had to pull a gun on someone. I can't even remember though. Or was it Robin or someone? Anyways, nice job, kinda, Jeremy. It was like I really didn't know he felt that upset about that movie, and it's weird. You know, the weirdest thing is like people that, like, from what I've seen, people that have generally been into this movie until this trailer came out. This trailer came out, people like they're just like, what the fuck? Wait a second. And then I'm seeing other people that that really weren't into this movie, and then they're kind of into it now, but it still looks too much like a cartoon, and like it looks, as I've said before, like it's maybe too close to the or trying to be too like what Jeremy was saying with the nostalgia, like just a giant nostalgia, and that's what Snyder, that's what Zack Snyder is really good at. But it can be too good at it when you're only appealing to a very niche market, and the rest of the general market starts to feel separated from it, especially with the success of the Dark Knight trilogy doing so well, adapting to the general market, and making a Batman more relatable, and you can be like, okay, I can feel this world. To go from that to this more closer to the comic book, niche it's niching out like an audience that is more used to this and what's going on with Marvel, all that. I had another fucking point I was just about to hone in on, but yeah, and so, for example, Sin City and Watchmen, great comic fans, we loved it, we enjoyed it because it was so close, but the general audience maybe wasn't feeling it as much because it was too separated. So that is a bit of a worry of mine I have for DC, which is why I'm most excited for Suicide Squad, because of the fact that Suicide Squad, yeah, it's adapting. You know, adaptions like Alan Moore has said, who doesn't believe in adaptions at all, like fucking gave away all his money to the artists of Watchmen and shit. You know, adaptions are very tricky because you know, to do it one-on-one, 100% and do it exactly the same is ridiculous, because, like I said, you're only going to please a niche market who wants to see something like that. But if you're going to see the same thing, but you want to try and make it something that's everybody is going to want to see, so to speak. I hope I'm making sense, kind of. And I'm a little worried about that, but I am curious about the way they're going to handle Suicide Squad, because you're seeing influence from comics, but it looks like it can really just be its own thing. And because it's a DC property, I love the fact that DC is giving the director like that creative freedom to just make their own type of movie and take it from there. That's my most anticipated movie of 2016. Marvel's doing their thing. You know it's going to be good, or at best above average or so. That's fine. Batman versus Superman, it's, you know, they might have seen, that'd be really stupid if they showed everything in that trailer. And I have to believe that Marvel, Warner Brothers, isn't as stupid as people would assume, that they were just going to show. Yes, they do it in CW, and they like show half the fucking episode of The Flash and the Arrow in their previews, but I have to believe that there's more to this movie. That's why I'm not even, you guys are worried, I'm not even worried about it, because but I hadn't been as invested in this project as the rest of you. And then, it is what it is with that movie. But Suicide Squad looks like it could be the one that comes out of nowhere and really gets people into the DC franchise. I hope so. I really hope so. I hope it does well. And as I was saying like 5 minutes ago, the last point is, so you have the people that are was into this movie, now they're kind of turned off, but they're going to go see that movie. And anyways, because they're hardcore fans. Then you have the people that were not really feeling the movie, and this was going to be the one, but they're just like, nah, it's not the kind of movie I wanted to see or whatever. But then people like me who weren't feeling the movie at all, and this actually piqued my interest. And like I'm saying, there better be more to this goddamn movie, or they just, I'm gonna be pissed. Well, regardless, but that it was that Doomsday shot that actually got me a little more into the movie. Like, okay, so maybe we're gonna actually see something like more than just gawking and stare. Oh, and it was also the dialogue between Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent that made me think, okay, maybe we're gonna get a little bit more than just gawks and gares and epic music and shit. Gawks, stares, and epic music, and riding too much on the iconicness of these two characters. So let's hope for the best, guys. We'll see what's up next. Let me know what you think below about everything. Watch it a few times. Give me a few more views. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll check you on the next one. Peace. It's like watching my two ex-girlfriends fight. She don't break her neck. Oh!